Good morning, comrade subscribers. I hope everyone is as well as they can be. Yes, another Spectrum clone. This is a Slavutich. I think it's Ukrainian because there is a Ukrainian town called Slавutich. Apologies for the pronunciation. That was built after the Chernobyl disaster. So I'm thinking that's probably where it's from. It's a videoigra video game, I think. Videoigra game. Membrane keyboard or touch keyboard. So I don't know how well it works. I've only just got it. Nice metal case, very well built. Not much information on it. Looks like it hasn't been opened. Normally the Soviets had some security snot in one of the screw holes to basically show that it's not been opened. So here we've just got a bit of like Loctite type of material on the two corners, so maybe it hasn't been opened. Neat little design. You can see here we've got a little bit of an overhang to protect the ports as well, which is a neat little feature. I'm not sure what year it is, so I don't know if it's Soviet Ukraine, which is pre-August 91, or whether it's independent Ukraine, which is obviously after August 1991. I don't know. It's got a serial number. Sorry, I'm trying to look at it. So I think it's just a number. I don't see any kind of date relevance on there, and the only other number is that there. So unless that could be a 93, so maybe July 93 or 7th week of 93, so maybe February 1993. So that would make it independent, and then maybe this is a serial number there, maybe. So perhaps it is independent Ukraine. Port-wise, let's have a look. So we've got Spros, I think, which is reset. Nice reset button. Vukl, which is obviously the on-off button. Nice solid on-off button. TV in Latin, which I always find interesting. Magnetophone, so cassette. Pitanya, so that'd be power supply. Puzzle, which is basically, you can see here the expansion port or ROM expansion. And then we've got DJ, which is, I think, basically supposed to be J, so joystick. So we've got a joystick port there. Joystick, expansion, power, cassette, I assume RGB output. So yeah, so that's basically it. Like I said, you can see it's I'm not sure how well the keyboard membrane will work, but we'll give it a try. Shall we open it up? So we've got, okay, so I'm thinking, so I don't know, I'm thinking just these outside screws perhaps. So I'll go through and do all these and I'll be back. Okay, so I've just done those screws on the edges. Obviously these aren't connected there, so yeah, that looks to be it. Now, so this is all I have. I don't have any documentation. Cool. Alright, so at least it's a nice ribbon cable. Genuine Zilog. 91 date on that. So SPL, alright, or SNP 58 connector. So a colleague in Ukraine sent me some connectors for the byte. So they were SNP 59. So this is an SNP 58 64. So it's 64 pin, just to try and use the div MMC on it. So I'll see if I can get some of those. That's the easiest way to do it. So there we go. How's that? Pretty cool. So these, I don't know if these are Western Western, maybe? No, they could be Ukrainian or Soviet era. So interesting. Just, it's always interesting looking at the looking at how it's been built. So nice solid switches there. But I like how we have this like kind of negative rail, a grounding rail that we connect everything to, and on that side as well. Let's see, so we've got Soviet era ROMs. So everything looks to be kind of Soviet era type parts apart from the Zilog, so it's a genuine Zilog. Interesting that capacitor there looks to have a cover on it. So normally Soviet capacitors are just let me get in close. Handheld now, so okay, those are interesting. Yeah, so the first thing to do obviously will be figuring out the video output. Which one was Petanya? The power. It was that one there, wasn't it? Sorry, Petanya. Bloody hell, that's a lot of wiring for. Normally these machines are just straight 5 volts, and as you can see, there is no regulator in here, so they're expecting 5 volts in. So that is a lot of. That's a lot of wiring just for 5 volts and ground. All right, we'll figure that out. Expansion connector is an SMP58-64. So it'll be interesting to see if I can get some of those, because the problem is there is a DIN equivalent, but these will be probably 2.5 millimeter pitch, not 2.54. So the connector, the DIN connector basically won't fit. You need to get the Soviet SMP. We'll say, so that capacitor there looks to have a cover on it, so I don't know why they put that on. But yeah, so this is generally what you see is a bare metal on the capacitors. Yeah, so pretty much looks like I could probably disconnect the keyboard and get rid of the metal there just to work on it. But otherwise, yeah, so no ULA, so hopefully it works. But yeah, so figuring out power shouldn't be too hard, but figuring out the RGB, unless it's written on there somewhere, might be a bit more difficult. Anyway, there we go. Quick look. I've got to start work now, so maybe at lunchtime I can work on it a bit more. Oh, okay. I'm back. It's a warm one today, so I got this from outside. This is kind of a family heirloom. I don't know how we got it, but Wanson's Electricity House, Darwin, 4-digit phone number. So I don't know if that's 1950s maybe. Anyway, so come from outside. It was just over 30 degrees outside, and I'm downstairs in the garage, and yeah, it's about 30 degrees in the garage here. So I don't know if you remember a video a couple of nights ago. Well, you could actually see on my arm I was wearing a jumper. Definitely not wearing a jumper today. Sweating buckets again. Right, I've been chatting with the guys on the Ukrainian retro computer Telegram forum thing, and they reckon actually that this was made in Kyiv, not in Slavutich. So it's actually Kyiv, not there. And they reckon the video pinout. Well, they gave me the video pinout, and it looks to be the same as the Orel BK, which is I think also another Ukrainian computer. So basically 7. I didn't realise it was 7-pin. I just assumed it was 5-pin TV. Oh yeah, it is 7-pin. All right. So basically, pin 1 is audio, pin 2 is what's called video, which in other words is the sync. So I guess you could say maybe even composite. It's composite video, which has got the sync signal. Then you got your blue, green, red. Then you got pin 6 ground, which is kind of unusual because normally they use pin 2 for everything for ground. Anyway, And then pin 7 was not connected. So in the Orel BK, it was apparently supposed to be plus 12 volts. But I didn't connect that. So I'm going to try this 7 pin. Obviously the other thing I need to sort out is first of all is the pitanya, the power. So once again we've got a 5 pin DIN for basically ground and 5 volts. So let's open it up, and it looks to be a standard. They said maybe it looks to be a Leningrad 2 design board. I don't see anything obvious on here, but like I said, I do. Now let's get a close up of those bits. So I just love these buses that they put in some of these. The way they manufacture them, they have these huge buses for ground. I'm assuming that's ground, and over here as well, this huge bus. Very, very cool. Got Western looking, like I said before, we got Western looking capacitors. We do have some Soviet era ones here. I think normally these type get pulled out because they've got precious metals in them. But yeah, basically decoupling capacitors everywhere, which also is a bit unusual because normally they're I guess in Soviet times they were more judicious, maybe. Like they would have a decoupling capacitor every second. Well, where's the memory actually? Where's the memory? The memory over here? There, okay, there's the memory there. I think KR565s, 64 kilobit, yeah. So normally what I would see, certainly on the cheaper builds, is that they would just have a decoupling capacitor every second chip rather than every chip. Like I said, we've got the EPROMs here, and we've got the Western Zilog Z80. Alright, so we should have the pinout. Well, that's the pitanya. We should have the pinout for that's magnetophone. Yeah, so magnetophone's probably the cassette's probably standard. So we've got two for input, 2 for output and ground. That's the video output there. So we'll confirm it. Confirm what pins aren't connected. But yeah, so power. Let's have a look at that. I was going to try and remove the board, but the way they've got these stuff on the nuts here, it's making it quite difficult, especially as they're using bloody flatheads as usual. So I might just try and buzz out the each connector, find what's connected to 5 volts, what's connected to ground. Gotta say, I can't see any regulator on here, so oh, that's a cool. Didn't look at that resistor. Whoop, sorry, didn't look at that resistor network, did we? That's pretty cool. There, interesting. But yeah, can't see any 5 volt regulator, so I'm assuming this is 5 volts in direct. So 5 volts and ground. What else do we need? That's it. So I just try and figure it out. Right, well, pin 11 on the Z80. Oh, it's coming from the wrong side, wasn't I? 1, 2. Oh, I just did just one of the decoupling and I found 5 volts, but let's just do the Z80. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Is that right? I'm not getting any beeping. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. But, okay, decoupling capacitor there. And let's see, that's pin 6, nothing. Which side am I doing it on? Ah, it's because I was doing the wrong leg, wasn't I? Oh, sorry, it's just so, I'm sweating buckets here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No. Still not getting anything on pin 11. Anyway, all right, so decoupling leg, assuming that's ground. The other leg is, so pin 4, okay, pin 4 is ground. Okay, so that's pin 6, nothing. Okay, pin 1, 5 volts. Pin 4 is ground. Pin 2 is 5 volts. Okay, VCC, VCC. Let's write VCC, someone complain. So that's pin 2. Pin 5, nothing. Pin 3, 5 volts. Alright, so... Oh, jeez. So there are other connections there. I can see 7 and 6 aren't connected to anything up the top here. Yeah. So I don't know what pin 5 is connected to. But I think that's a good start. We've got VCC and we've got ground. What's pin 5 connected to? That's 735. Okay, maybe that's ground as well then. Alright, so maybe it looks like that then. 1, 2, 3, 5 volts, 4, 5, ground. 7, 6 not connected. Alright, I'll make up I think I have a break. And make up a USB power cable for that. Get out the Robix, oh no, the Orel BK's video cable for that. Give it a try. Right, some time has passed. Still 30 degrees. Having a drink. A Long Island iced tea. Okay. So power, I'm going to make up a USB cable. You guys have seen me make one of these many times. So here's all the parts for the USB side. So USB type A plug into a 7-pin DIN. So I'm only going to connect up 2 of the connectors, so there's probably a couple of things I could do. Where is it? Here. So, oh, it's a bit dark, isn't it? So I could maybe just chop off all the pins that I'm not going to be using. That might be easier. So we've got alternating, top 2 aren't used, so alternating 5 volts ground, 5 volts ground, 5 volts not used. So I could chop off these top 2 and then maybe just keep that one and that one or something. Anyway, oh, Taylor Swift concert tonight in Sydney. I am sick to death of hearing about that girl. Don't give a shit. Then her boyfriend's arrived, and her boyfriend arrived wearing shoes. Oh, I don't give a fuck. Don't care. Can't wait for her to leave. I'm sick and tired of hearing about her. Right. I prefer smaller bands. I don't like big pop stars. Right, so how long do I want to make this? Let's make it this long. Drop it off. Okay. So basically USB on one side with heat shrink, and then 7-pin DIN on the other side. Like I said, I've got videos of me making these, so I'm not going to show that in detail. Oops. Sorry. I might have to remind me to. Sorry, the thing came off. Remind me to kind of reduce that volume. All right, I'll start making it. I wasn't going to show you every step, but whatever. So basic's been done. I'm just going to double check to make sure I've got the polarity right. Heat shrink on that, and then DIN 7 on the other side. Okay, the USB side is done. There we go, all ready to go. Now it's just time to do the DIN side. Okay, I've got the DIN ready to go. I've just cut off the unnecessary pins. I've got the heat shrink threaded on, ready to go as well. So I'll put this together and hopefully it's right. Whew, sweating buckets, but almost done. Almost done. So let's see if it works. It goes on there, like so, and then some heat shrink on top to hold it all together. I don't, so I don't really like using these ones because they break and stuff. So I just put heat shrink on. Let's see. Okay, it is done. USB power cable to 7-pin DIN. So you can see that's how it turns out. So it's quite, I don't know, bit of a handle. All right, let me see if I can dig out the RGB cable for the Orel and hook it up, see if this works. Right, okay, found the cable I made for the Orel BK, luckily. Yeah, so there's an audio out as well because, as I just remembered, I didn't remember seeing a speaker in here. So yeah, so you need to hook up an external speaker. All right, let's so hot. Still no, almost 30 degrees still. Okay, let's plug in the video cable to the TV. So I used one of my good quality Lumberry cables, and then one of my cheaper for the Pitanya. Okay, so I'm not going to get any audio unless, I don't know, I've got one of these JBL, I don't know if it needs charging. It's got some power on it. Well, I might have some power. Alright, I might get some audio. No? It's turned off again. No, it's looking for Bluetooth. Oh, it's got Bluetooth built in. Okay, plug that into my GBS 8200, much abused. All right, I want to turn that on first. Fill my drink. All right, let's just readjust, have a look at the screen, see if we get anything. All right, ready to go. All right, let's plug in the USB. Hopefully that's wired right. And we get nothing. So maybe my USB cable is not wired correctly. All right, I've recovered a bit. And yeah, I've made a mess up of the power cable. Looks like I've got ground and 5 volts reversed. So pin 11 of the Z80 is 5 volts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And that's what these bars are. I thought they were grounding bars, but they're actually 5 volts, which is interesting. So I just hopefully just need to reverse, just redo a 7-pin DIN plug. We can pull it out. So I just need to do another one of these. All right, 8:30 at night, and it's still about 30 degrees. Anyway, So I've corrected the cabling. So I've now got negative connection to negative as it should be. And let's plug the power in. Hey! 1993 SLAVUTICH Kiev KRZ. There we go. And the speaker's working. 10. Print. Caps shift. No. Delete. No. Cap shift. Symbol shift. Oh, it's on the other side. Okay. Whoops. Cap shift. Space. Symbol shift. No. Nope. Nope. Symbol shift. Yep. Okay. And run. Looks to be good. Looks to be working well. Don't mind the reflections. There we go. Very good. Okay, so far so good. Obviously the next thing is to load in some software. I'm not going to do that tonight. So it's 8:30 at night and it's still 30 degrees. So it's all working. So stay tuned. Bye for now.